Everybody, Cashflow Chris here, taking on.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Cashflow Chris here at
What's up, everybody? Cashflow Chris with Investors Edge Real Estate Group here. What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to Leveling Up Book Club. We are working on traction. I guess technically this is day 3, but day 1 we didn't do much. So this is the second fully interactive day of traction. Today we're going to be implementing and going through the VTO, the Vision Traction Organizer here. So I hope all of you guys have your info. I hope you read through. Let's take a look at the poll and see where we're at. All right, 5 of 8 people voted. If you haven't voted yet, please go down there and vote. It's anonymous, don't worry. So 4 out of 5 have read. About 50-50 on who's done the VTO and who hasn't. And then this is the main thing. I wanted to know, what are you struggling with? So 1 person core focus, 2 people long-term goals, rocks. Okay, that's good to know. And it looks like the people are liking it so far. We got 5 people. So go ahead and vote if you don't mind. I would like to know where everybody's at. Do we have any takeaways from last week? Anybody want to share? So are you guys looking to actually implement this into your business? Go ahead and unmute yourself if you've got something to say on the subject. Daniel says yes. Guys, this is interactive, especially today. We're going to be going over this. We're going to be talking about our actual businesses. So I need you to unmute yourself and get with the program. So let's just start here. Core values. Did anybody work on their core values? Does anybody want to share?
I got some, Chris.
What do you got?
So my core values are honest structure, awareness, or organizational awareness, massive value from service, clear communication, and maximizing relationships.
Okay, good, very good. So we need to have 3 to 7. That's the typical, what they want you to have, 3 to 7 core values that define your culture and who you really are. Now, did you talk this over with your business partners at all? Do you think they would concur with this?
No, this was just me personally.
Okay. So yeah, I sat down with BP the other day, and so we could actually kind of hash this out, because really, guys, without your core values, it's hard to proceed. As that video talked about, you're going to hire, you're going to fire, you're going to run all your meetings based off your core values. So it's really important. So a couple of ours that we're throwing around: ethical and honest, transparency, trustworthy, kind of goes with the transparency. We say what we do and we do what we say. Streamlined. That's we want it to be, everything that we do, we want it to be a streamlined process. And then if we had like a statement, it would be we provide a clean, safe, affordable housing that provides higher returns for our investors. So that's kind of where we are. Does anybody else want to share any of their core values that they've come up with? You can type it up if you don't want to unmute yourself.
For me, I basically put, for my core values, integrity, serving first, or helping first, doing, integrity with doing the right thing and doing what I'm going to say. So like if I say I'm going to call somebody back or do something, I do it by end of day, and being humbly confident.
Being humbly confident. I love that. That's terrific. Thank you, Kelly. Anybody else got one? Even if it's just one, or who has a question about it? We had a couple people say that they were struggling. Who's struggling with this?
So pretty much on the integrity part, I do a lot of wholesales, and a lot of people are like backing out of contracts and all that. Even though I still say, hey, I'm going to buy your house, I still buy the house, even if I have to flip it, wholesale it myself, or hold on to it myself for a little bit. That's my integrity. Is no matter what, I never back out of a contract. So I always try to make sure that my sellers are taken care of and my buyers on both ends. So.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anybody else got a 1 or 2 that they want to discuss? I have another one. for my other business, this was kind of what I put up. Actually, I don't even, it'll probably take me too long to find it. I'll pull it up, but because I think your core values are going to be different when you have business partners, because you have your own personal, but then as a group, as a company, what are our core values going to be is a real important thing to think about. So mine for my other business were lead by example. Don't preach what you aren't willing to do. Abundance. There's always plenty to go around, and there's always more. Always be learning. Know-it-alls need not apply. Constant growth in business, family, and self. Eyes ahead. Be open to change and ahead of the curve. And so those are all really important to me. I want to always stay ahead of the game. I'm not afraid to pivot. I'm not afraid to change. And then, you know, I've bootstrapped this business from the beginning. And so I'm definitely willing to do anything that I put out to my people. And, you know, so those are a few of mine. Does anybody else want to add to that, or do you guys want to move forward?
So I got a question.
Yes.
You know, this might be more of a business on the other side, something because I've been looking at. I know you buy in Cleveland, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem. So the first core values that I was talking about, that is our Cleveland property. That's our recession-proof investments. That's the that side of the business where we have rentals and we're doing that. And again, so it's interesting when we're looking at doing this compared to my other business. You know, who are our customers? Who are our clients? We have investors, and then we have tenants. So those are kind of our people. A lot of real estate agents. You know, who's your customer? Your customer is our people. You know what I mean? They're individuals, and you're always turning them. You're always having to find new people. So it's interesting what you have to focus on and when you have to focus on that. So let's move forward then. Core focus. So your core focus, your job as a leadership team is to establish an organization's core focus and not to let anything distract you. This is a big one. So can you guys give me, what is your core focus? Who wants to start? I'll start if you guys want. So our core focus is investing in working class neighborhoods, entry-level housing. So that is it. So talking about Cleveland. So we do have our apartments with this company, but Cleveland is where we're growing it the most. So we have a certain numbers that we always want to hit. You know, we want to be in for a certain amount. We want them to be worth a certain amount. We want to have a certain amount of equity. But just because there's a good deal doesn't mean that it meets our criteria. So for example, you could bring me a property instead of the east side, you could bring it in a nicer neighborhood on the west side. And it could be a great deal. It could be a huge discount. But so let's just say it's worth 120 and you can bring it to me for 80 and it'll rent for 1,200. Like that on the face of it is a great deal. And in a normal situation, that is probably something I would buy, but that's not our core focus. So our core focus is under 50,000 is what we want our loan to be. So, you know, we're looking for properties that are worth between 50 and probably 80,000 on the high side. So, and the reasoning is because the money we borrow, it needs to be cheap enough. So if I borrow 80,000 and I have to pay 800 a month because we're starting with expensive money and then we're rolling it into cheaper money, that takes away all my cash flow and it's not a good deal. So even though it may be, and the universe is going to do that. They're going to throw you stuff left and right. So you got to know, what is my focus? If you're a wholesaler, we only do single families in this part of town under this price point, right? Get specific with your business. If as a fix and flipper, I was very specific with my business. So I loved to do under 250,000. This was a few years ago, or two or three years ago when I was only doing fix and flips. we wanted to be under 300,000, absolutely, and definitely under 250 if we could do it. Why? Because we wanted to have the widest amount of people, the most amount of people that would buy our homes. And then secondly, we wanted less picky buyers. You know, when you're talking about entry-level buyers and we're giving them granite and all this other nice stuff, they may look past a few small blemishes that your $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 buyer won't. In times like this, in times of possible recession, we thought about this on purpose, where we always wanted to be able to be in the starter home just in case anything happened, if the market dropped out, we would be able to rent and they would at least break even, if not cash flow. So that's why we never took on $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 projects, $1 million and up projects, because that wasn't our specialty. So while I wasn't focused on that in general, I wasn't doing this back then, we did have a core focus. So I want to hear from some of you other guys. Either type it or unmute yourself. I want to know, what is the core focus in your business? Or what should your core focus be?
Shouldn't core focus be building it up right now?
No, I mean, what is your core focus? What is your business? You know what I mean? Like what? So you're a wholesaler, right?
And an agent, yes.
Yeah, and an agent. Okay, so those are kind of two separate businesses. But in each of those,
Absolutely.
who are you focusing on? You know what I mean? Let's see. It says focus on the multifamily rental property portfolio. Okay, Daniel, I like that, but let's get more specific. Where? What class? Like, are you going to go buy a $100 million A class in Scottsdale, or are you going to go buy? Are you going to focus on duplexes in 85007? The worst zip code in Phoenix. Or is it, no, we're going to focus on this area, or we're going to focus on Maricopa County. We want to stay inside Arizona, preferably inside Maricopa County. Your main focus might be, hey, it has to be an hour drive from where I live. Or on our multifamily, our criteria was it has to be over 25 units. So it's big enough to mess with from out of state. And it has to, upon value add, it needs to be about a 14 cap is what we were looking for. So California duplexes to begin with, and then move into apartment developments. Beautiful, I like it. Who else? Kelly, what's your core focus? Will you just put anybody in your car? Will you take any listing? Or do you focus? Scaling down my core focus to helping first-time home buyers and sellers purchase, become investors, and pivot and leverage with real estate in the West Valley. Beautiful. I love that. So when I was a real estate agent, you really got to choose. You want to be a specialist if possible. You want to have your niche. So yeah, I focused on working with investors. And so while I did let my core focus stray, it's hard to say no to a listing here or a buyer there. I really tried to focus on only working with investor buyers and helping them find property. Lucy, what's yours?
Mine wasn't so specific. The examples in the book weren't very specific, so I didn't get it narrowed down that much. But I just said that I was going to improve the quality of life in my community by solving real estate problems. Okay,
great. So you are a wholesaler, correct?
Currently.
Okay. So Lucy's a wholesaler. And so if you had to focus on a certain area, so when you're in real estate investing, a great place to target is kind of your lower, below median, but not total ghetto, not a, what's it called, war zone, right? And so here in Phoenix, we have certain neighborhoods that are kind of perfect because they have homes that are 30, 40 years old. So they're going to definitely be in distress if they've never been upgraded. They're not the newer community. But they have a high enough upside to where if we wanted to fix and flip, you can make a nice big profit.
The areas I want to invest in myself when I buy my own properties probably will not be the areas that I'm wholesaling in.
Okay. What do you think your buy and hold core focus will be?
I'm thinking I want to do more of the transitioning areas so I can help clean up the community.
Okay, good. I love being there because giving someone in a really nice place to live is so fulfilling. You know what I mean? We provide lots of housing and we provide nice housing, and when stuff breaks, we fix it, and we really work to do that. So that's where our core focus is as well. So yes, definitely you guys want to have your niche. Let's move on. 10-year target. Now, I want to be clear. 10-year target is not a 10-year target, and if you don't want it to be. This is yours, right? So 10-year target is a longer term target. So it could be 5 years, it could be 20 years. So this is, I love the term BHAG, right? This is your big, hairy, audacious goal. When you're figuring this out, keep in mind that most people, it's been proven, most people seriously overestimate what they can do in a year, and they seriously underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So let's hear it. Do we have any 10-year targets out there? Or long-term targets? Doesn't have to be 10 years.
Retire my wife and myself.
By when?
I want to do, so I'm 41, so probably like, I want to say 55 for both of us.
So
I want to be able to retire by the time I'm 40, but I don't know that that is really something I would want as my business goal.
Okay. I think there's a difference between retiring and being retirable, being financially free, you know? So is yours, are you going to put yours at 10 years?
Well, I'm 40 in 5 years, so I want to be able to retire. Then I don't plan on actually doing it then.
So yours is a 5-year target. And what does being retirable mean? Is that a cash flow number? Is that a number of cash in the bank? What does that mean to you?
I'm not really sure right now. I mean, I don't take that much money to live off of right now, but I would like to be able to travel and stuff. So I'll need to think more on that to figure out an actual number.
Okay. And then I would suggest whenever you find that number, double it, because we underestimate what we can do. So if you're thinking, you know what, 5 pays my bills and gives me some extra cash, then definitely make it 10. If 10's your number, there's no way not to make it 20. Now, so what we had was, what was ours? Oh yeah. So our goal is $100,000 a month, passive income. And so that would be 50,000 each for me and so we estimate 200 on the low side per door, $200 cash flow per door, and so that gives us a number of 500 doors. So we first came up with, hey, what's a big crazy number that would be fantastic. We came up with 100,000 a month, and then we just kind of went from there. So you can always break it down. So we got Kelly says, semi-retired in 10 years, and I still love the work. And be able to coach, teach real estate cash flow, a minimum of 20,000 monthly net after expenses. I love it. Core focus for JT was providing win-win solutions with a seamless process of distressed value add properties from seller to buyer. I like that, JT. That's a good one. JT also had his 10-year target. Bank on myself, 100 million in assets. Boom, I love it. Train 1,000 people in financial independence. Guys, I love these. These are so fantastic. Helping people, because when you're helping people, first of all, you typically are going to be compensated for when you're creating massive amounts of value, but you're growing, you're creating. It's amazing. I love it. And I think that is kind of where we all want to get, once you just have all the money coming in, now you can just focus on what you want to do with your life. And I think these times are, these are really eye-opening, I hope. You know what I mean? I hope that everybody is kind of really realizing, hey, how would you like to be able to go and live on an island with all your supplies right now. You know what I mean? How about being absolutely 100% self-sustaining? As I drove into my office today, I saw lots of people in RVs. They're just getting out of town. You know what I mean? So being independently wealthy, there's no reason not to. You know, how many other people are you going to help? So people who have I know it's a lot of people who are really freaking out right now because they don't know what they're going to do next week. And I have other people who they're like, I'm good for a year. I don't have to make any money for a year and I'm fine. So that's definitely the boat you want to be in. So this is a great time to really get your house in order, get your business in order. So I'm glad that we're doing this. Does anybody else want to chime in on the 10-year target? All right, marketing strategy. So next is your marketing strategy. Your marketing strategy is made up of 4 elements. 1, your 3 uniques. 2, your guarantee. 3, your proven process. And 4, your target market, which is your list. One thing I want to state, not every company has to have or needs a guarantee. So just take that into account. We had a hard time coming up with that, and we're like, you know what, I don't think we need a guarantee. So does anybody out there have their marketing strategy? I got mine if you guys want me to go first. So our target market, so again, we have 2 customers. We have 2 kind of sides of the business. Over here, we're finding money from investors to buy our projects and banks. And then over here, we have our sourcing our properties. Over here, we got to actually find our deals. So our lenders, our target market, are the list. We want to basically work with rich people and retired people with money. We don't want to work with people who have to scrape together. We never want to take someone's last 30,000, 50,000. That's a nightmare. I can only imagine if we did that and what would be happening now. So that's kind of what we're focusing on. So when we're talking about building our list, that's who we're going to be going after. We're going to be going after people with self-directed IRAs, people with bigger retirement funds, and then just in general, the wealthy, because it's so much easier to work with. Like right now, we're working to package 7 properties, I think, 7, 8 properties for $525,000. So one person, one loan, one payment, so much easier. And then our properties, we really are targeting. Again, we have a focus. We're only doing now single families and 4plexes. We might do a duplex if it's a good condition. And that's pretty much all we're focusing on. So anything else, we just put our blinders on. And so with our marketing strategy, that's what we're going after. Our 3 uniques, we have a personal touch with our investors. We do what we say what we do. That was one of our core values. And then lastly, we provide great deals. You know, we have an amazing network and people bring us amazing deals. We're getting properties at 50% or less, and it's a real win. I guess we did have a guarantee. This was straight BP style. If we fuck up, we'll fix it. Guaranteed. So, marketing strategies. Who's got them? Who wants to share? Unmute yourself or type it out. What's your marketing strategy? Or did you have an aha about this? Did you realize, holy shit, I don't have a marketing strategy. I don't have I don't have a unique. I don't have 3 uniques. What do you guys got? Facebook ads, direct mail, bandit signs, cold calling from Daniel. Thanks, Daniel. Those are all great specific things. And I love that because you have to cast a wide net. So a lot of people will just be like, well, they'll get into the business and they'll be like, oh, I put out bandit signs. They don't work. Bandit signs don't work. Oh, I did direct mail. Direct mail doesn't work. Well, you got to do it all, and you got to do it all. Anybody else want to add? What is your marketing strategy? What do you think your marketing strategy should be? If you had a marketing budget, what would it be? Door knocking while driving around town also. Yeah, that's another good one, Daniel. Come on, guys. This ain't just me. This is for you guys. I got mine filled out. I'm doing this for you guys.
I got you, Chris. It's James.
Yes.
So our marketing strategy goes after a target market of buyers, sellers, and lenders. we have a lot of unique qualities. I just nailed it down to something simple, and that's real estate experiences and creative financing. And what I mean by that is just our circle and the experience that we have that makes us unique because we're malleable. Right now, we've been through this time before, like you have, and then creative financing, we have structured plans around that to service all three parties, the sellers, the buyers, and lenders. We have a proven process, and that's door knocking is what it originally was built from. And we've also added our CRM. And then our guarantee is, or I just have a personal guarantee. If I don't know the answer, I have the right people in my circle to get an answer for you.
Beautiful. I love that one. You know what? Everybody always tries to be a know-it-all, or they feel like if they don't have the answer, they're not doing something right. Knowing the person that has the answer is the most important. That's beautiful, JT. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share their marketing strategy? Let's see. Kelly said, okay, Michelle, RVM, text message, and door knocking. Those are three solid ways to do it. And so what's your list, if you don't mind, Michelle? Let us know, what is your list? Kelly says, Michelle's list is pre-foreclosures. There you go. And that's a good one. I really like that one because you can hit them all those ways. You know what I mean? So many people will just shotgun approach it, right? They just blast it out. They'll go hit 1,000 people once. If you're going with your strategy, it's very easy to send them a letter, send them a letter, and then you can do a RVM, letting them know, hey, I just want to know if you got my letter. You know, we sent this out, blah, 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 blah. And then you can send them a text, right? And then you can even door knock. So by the time you go door knock, they've been hit with you 2 or 3 times. So either A, they hate you, or they're going to be receptive. So either way is good because then you can either check them off your list. There's nothing worse in business than a maybe. So a piss off or I'm interested is a great place to get to. All right. Kelly says resource, knowledge, ethics. That's her 3 uniques. Her guarantee is under promise and over deliver. Okay. Social media, proven process, consistency, Facebook, Instagram. Her audience is millennials and Generation Y. Very good. Thank you. Lucy says social media and text SMS blasts. Okay. Daniel, pre-foreclosures, failed MLS listings, free and clear, more than 15-year ownership. Okay. Very good. Those are hitting, different niches as well. Lucy says she's also building relationships to get referrals, and she's going to try out probate. Awesome. So probate could be a good way to work the way Michelle works it, is you can hit probate at several different levels. And then once they see you more than once. And then, relationships. I mean, some of the best deals I've ever gotten were referrals. So definitely do that. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. Let's move forward. 3-year focus. So if you have your 10-year, now this is where we stopped. We didn't do the 3-year picture and we didn't do the second page. So I'm going to be doing this right here along with you guys. So with your 3-year picture clearly in mind, you can easily determine what you have to do in the next 12 months to stay on track. This is where you can really start breaking it down. For example, 500 units in 10 years is what, 50? That's only 50? Oh man, see, we're seriously underestimating. We already have 130 in a year and a half, almost 2 years now. So we were already surpassing that. So I doubt that we're going to be buying less in the future. We're probably going to be buying more. So our 500 units is probably seriously undershooting. But let's just do that. So 50 a year. So in 3-year picture, what is our revenue going to look like? What is our profit going to look like? So if we do 50 times 3 years, or actually if we take where we are now, so 130 plus 150, we should then be at, what's that, 280? And then what is our, and then it's good to figure out, you know, what is your average rents? What's your average cash flow? We talked about $200 cash flow. So let's just say we have 700 a month average times 280 units. That's 196,000 a month gross. And then if we're netting 200 times 280 units, 56,000 net. Let's do a, you know what? Those numbers may be way off. 56 divided by 196. That's a 70% expense ratio, guys. So and that's not realistic in real estate. More, you're going to have more of like a, I guess after your mortgage and all that maybe, but we usually have 30 to 40% expense ratios. So that's where we would fill it out. So our profit would be around 56,000 a month, which hell, we're getting there, right? We're really getting close to our 10-year target. Measurables. What does it look like? I love this one, guys. What does that look like to you? So if I'm going and talking about it, it looks like we have 280 units. Right now we have a team of about 5. So I imagine we'll probably have a team of about 8 people managing our projects, talking to our tenants, working the system. We'll probably be adding a bookkeeper. So what does it look like? How many people are in your organization? We already talked about how many units we have. So we have 280 units. We got plenty of money coming in. We've refinanced. We have long-term financing. At this point, we have definitely obtained our lines of credit. So a lot of our private money is kind of probably going to go away, depending on interest rates and stuff like that. Or we may be ready to pivot. I mean, we had 11 years of economic abundance. So what happens when the banks go and interest rates balloon? Now we're going to be going and we're going to be buying stuff on seller financing. We're going to be taking advantage of all the people who, not the people, we're going to be taking advantage of the loans that these people have in place to where we can do a wrap and we can use all the mortgages that were gotten in the last 5 years. You know, they all have long-term low interest rates. So people that need to sell, you know, we're going to pivot and have that strategy. So 3-year picture. Revenue, profit, measurables. What do your businesses look like? Who wants to volunteer? We got one. Kelly Rojas, sub-2s, wraps, time to pivot. Exactly, Kelly. Never be afraid to pivot. That's another thing with EOS. You're going to be evaluating this every quarter. Why would you wait a whole year to change your strategies if it needs to be changed, you know? Why would you wait an entire year to monitor and really check into your systems? No, quarterly is when you're going to be going over this. So you can definitely. Who wants to share their 3-year picture? I want to hear these guys. I want to see these beautiful visions. What does your business look like in 3 years? What kind of revenue do you have coming in? What are some of your measurables? What's your team look like? How many people are on your team? Stacy, welcome. Feel free to join us. All right, so
I'll chime in. I have my 3-year focus, and I'm basically future dating it like in the book, and then just kind of like backdating it to what I want to happen in the next 3 years. So even if it's like scaling too high, at least some of it I will hit, and then just, you know, kind of like putting out there what the revenue I want, the profit I want, and then just kind of like reverse engineering.
Perfect. You got any examples for us?
Well, I'm only a team of 1 right now. So I'm hoping that in 3 years I have a team of like 6, which would consider like a SEAL team. I kind of follow some of like Tom Ferry's stuff. And so it would just be like more of an in-house family, even though they say not to work with family, but just more of like somebody, you know, everybody's like specialized in what they need to be doing. And then, but it can also do each other's work. So if a ball is dropped, it can be picked up right away.
Perfect. All right, Kelly, tell me your team. So you're a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. So you're the team lead, I take.
Yeah.
Who
Yes.
else is on your team? You got a transaction manager on the team?
Yes.
Who's the listing
Yeah.
agent? Who's your main listing agent? Is it you?
No, not me at the moment, but I want to be able to
I'm talking
master the
about
listing
3
as
years
well.
from now, your vision.
Oh yes, yes. So in 3 years from now, yeah, I will be the listing agent.
Okay, do you have an assistant?
Yes.
Okay, so it's you and your assistant working on most of the listings. You got a transaction manager, either that you outsource or that you have on the team. And
And
so
then I have
that leaves what, 3 buyers agents?
2 buyers agents and an ISA. So
What's
an ISA,
say
it's the
it?
person who helps, takes the calls and kind of just funnels them and pre-qualifies them over the phone to
Okay.
redirect to the buyer's agents and to the listing.
So so you're leading the team and you're the main listing agent, but you don't do much work because you have your assistant who's going to take care of most of all the small details. You have your transaction manager, so you're not doing any paperwork. More importantly, your people aren't doing any paperwork. All they have to do is go sell real estate. You've got your lead generator who's working 40 hours a week, busting those leads out and dispersing them evenly. I love it. How many deals are you guys closing? How many listings are you going to have a year?
A year that I would be aiming at least 170.
170 listings a year. Oh yeah.
At
And then
least yeah.
how many deals are your people selling?
A minimum of 3 a month.
Okay, I like it. Anybody else want to dream with me? I love it. Because dreams come to reality, guys. The shit that you talk about today is what's going to be realized in years down the road. So when you say negative stuff like I'm never going to be able to do that, I'll never grow my business, I'm going to be doing this till the day I die, that's going to be your reality. So don't be afraid to dream. Put it out there. Guys, I'm going to have 280 units in 3 years. I'm going to be making $56,000 cash flow to split with one business partner in 3 years. Doesn't that excite you? That excites me. Well, what excites you? Where are you going to be in 3 years? Put it out there in the world.
I just made a little chart of who I want to have in my organization.
Tell me about it.
Years. I want to have someone to do operations, so like a COO. I want to have assistants or VAs somewhere in there to keep us organized. And I want to have departments for acquisitions and dispositions. And I want a transaction coordinator.
Beautiful. I love it. I would remind me, Lucy, I'll share you my chart, my kind of fix and flip wholesale chart. It was a nice team, and I'll definitely share that with you.
Oh,
I
I'd like
pivoted from that in the meantime, so we're not really going that. But that was one of the main things, because you want to tier out your business. So you have your CEO, who hopefully isn't you, a COO. So you have the visionary up here. You want to be the visionary. You want to be the visionary if you're a visionary. If you're not a visionary and you're a organizer, that's great. But you probably need to bring a visionary in on your team, I would say. But yeah, then spread it out. We got our acquisitions team. What does that consist of? Well, we got this guy. We got a team of 3 people cold calling. We got 2 door knockers. We got one main acquisitions manager over here. We have Dispo. Dispo is ahead of our real estate sales team, which is and then it's also in charge of wholesaling. You know what I mean? So boom, getting all these people. Not even just getting people in your process, getting software. So, we're going to have software that does 90% of the work. And so our people can focus on high level activities. And then what does that look like? We want to be working smarter in 4 years, not harder. Anybody else want to dream with me? What does your 3 year look like? What kind of income you have in 3 years? We got a chat. Let's see. Daniel, my 20-year plan to build a real estate empire, private tequila label and distillery, and a wine label. Awesome. So what's your 3 year focus then, right? If you, what does your empire look like in 3 years? Do you have a team? Are you doing this mainly solo? Are you outsourcing everything? Really think about this, guys. There's lots of little dots there, you know, and what does it look like? Really just vision it. So you're solo right now, Daniel. So how many people are you going to have working for you in a couple years, in 3 years? Anybody else want to chime in on the 3-year? Lofty goals, lofty dreams? All right, here we go. JT, 3 million in REI assets, other people's money in private value liens, 1 platoon team, 4 teams of 6 to 9 specialists. Love it. Daniel, 3 years, 10 people working for me. Fantastic. JT, team 100 times people in my systems. 50 rental properties. Oh, teaching. JT says teaching 100 people in his systems. I love it, man. Changing 50 people's lives or 100 people's lives. I love it. Cash flow, 50,000 in 3 years. Beautiful. So break it down. How are you going to get there? Okay, now let's break it down to your 1-year plan. So now that you kind of got your 3-year focus, and we'll kind of stay a little bit broad here, but this is what I want everybody to work on. I mean, we got nothing but time, guys. 1-year plan. So again, put the future date. What's your revenue? What's your profit? What are some of your measurables? And this is where you can start going over the goals for the year and really start writing those out so they can see, you know, you have space for like 6, 7, 8 goals. Does anybody already have it for this year? Is there anybody already have their 1-year goal? 1-year plan, 10 rental properties, 5,000 cash flow. Okay. Anybody else have their 1-year goal set for this year? Are we all just meandering through life? I have goals. I really suggest you guys work a journal. It just helps so much. You're being proactive with your life when you're doing this, guys. So here's last week. You can see I paid attention. I had a good last week. So my top 3 goals for the year. My number 1 goal is personal. So we're only talking about business, but you know you got to have personal goals too, and it's a health goal. But my banner goals for the year for the businesses: $20,000 a week cash flow, 36 single family homes, and then on the development side, we want to also build we had a 32 unit under contract until yesterday. Canceled because of the uncertainty in this world, and then we are going to build a 60 unit apartment. So that is kind of where we were at, and then on the other side, 60 vacation days. Be careful what you work for. I guess home quarantine can be considered vacation, right? Oh man, and I don't want 60 of those days. Who else has some yearly goals that they want to talk about? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. No judgment zone. We're like Planet Fitness here. No judgment. $150,000 net. 3 times new sources of passive income. Debt free. First book done. Love it. Kelly says redirecting 1 rental property by the end of the year and 5 consistent listings and buyers per month. That is a great goal. That's 60 a year. That's getting you to your 3-year. Anybody else want to talk about what their 1-year plan is? What are your measurables? How are you measuring? How do you know if you had a successful year in your business? What does that mean for you? Is that number of deals? Is that profit? Is that my goal is to hire? Or it could be like, Kelly, I want to buy 1 rental property. I got some people in my accountability group, and their goal is I want to buy 3 rental properties. And it's really just setting your mind to it. What are some of your goals for the year, guys? I want to hear it. Come on. JT's been out there, Kelly and Lucy. Who else we got? Michelle, Daniel, Eve, Stacy. What are some of your guys' goals? I want to hear it. All right. Here we go. Somebody's talking. Lucy, make at least 100,000. Pay off my credit cards. Beautiful. These are some good goals, guys. Don't be afraid to make some goals for your life. All right. Next is your quarterly rocks. So again, you can see how this works, guys. You got your 10-year, you got your 3-year, you break it down into a year. and now you're breaking it down into quarters. So a lot of your measurables, a lot of your goals for the year, it's pretty simple, really. You kind of just break it down into 4, right? Divide by 4 to get your quarterly. So quarterly rocks create a 90-day world for your organization, a powerful concept that enables you to gain tremendous traction. How do they work? Every 90 days, your leadership team comes together to establish its priorities for the next 90 days based on your 1-year plan. Does this make sense, everybody? So we're not, I guess we don't really break this down, but one thing I like is it's got a who. So you have your rocks for the quarter, which you're coming from your yearly goals, and then you're breaking down not only what is it and who, but who is it. So when we get into our weekly meetings, we'll be able to break these quarterlies down even further and assign them. You know, we're going to have accountability charts, which is going to be simply amazing. Anybody want to talk about quarterly rocks, or do we move on? Because it's about an hour, so we want to wrap this baby up. Next, what are your issues? You have to identify all the obstacles that could prevent you from reaching your targets. The sooner you accept that you have issues, the better off you are going to be. So you have this is how it's going to work. You're going to have your weekly meetings. In your weekly meetings, you're going to go over your rocks and each person's different rocks. And then as they come up, you're going to be adding to your issues list. Okay? And then at the end of your meeting is when you tackle most of your issues or you push them on to the next week. Okay? So that is the VTO. What do you guys think? Good, bad, indifferent? Let's see who took the poll. 6 of 8 people. If you guys haven't, we got 2 people who haven't done the poll. If you can see it there, go ahead and take it. Let's see what people. So most people read up to chapter 3. About 50-50 did the VTO. That's fine. What are you struggling with? 10-year targets. Hopefully we worked on that. Rocks. So rocks, you're not going to have your rocks until you do your 10-year target. You're not going to have your 10-year target until you do your core focus and your core values. So core values, guys, get that in. Even if it's going to change, it doesn't matter. Write it down. What do you think it is today? And it is going to change. I've been doing this for 5 years now. 5 years. And my core values change a little bit. They tweak, but get them down. Yeah, because you can't get your rocks until you have your 3-year, your 1-year picture. On a scale of 1 to 5, has it been helpful? So some people are saying it gave them some ideas, something to implement, changing my business. Good. I'm glad this is helping, guys. And that is it for day 3. So, how are you guys doing? Are you guys wanting to show up next week? Is everybody still working their business?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, good. So I'm going to be here no matter what. I don't care. If you guys don't want to come, it's going to be sad. But all right. So we're going to work on let's see what we can work on. So we got chapter 4, the people component. This is going to be a good one. I like this because I want each of you to, at the very least, hire a virtual assistant. Very least. I want to teach you guys how to work your 80-20 list so you can get the 80% of crap out of your life so you can focus on your core 20% items. So we're going to be working on this accountability chart. And again, so you can see that there's going to be a lot of boxes. You're going to have an accountability chart. You're going to have the visionary, the COO. You're going to have all the parts that we said, hey, in 3 years, what does your business look like? That's what we're going to be producing. We're going to be producing this whole organizational chart. And it's not where you are now, but it's where you're going to go. We're going to fill this out. And for a lot of us, we're going to be our name is going to be in every single box. But it's a great place to start. It's a great place to start hiring. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about that. Let's see, chapter 4. I don't even know if I want to go past that next week. Yeah, that's data after. Data is not true. Yeah, so all I want you guys to do is read chapter 4. Easy, easy. It's only not even that many pages. So let's do chapter 4. We're going to work on the people aspect of our business next week. And I hope this was a great teaching tool for you guys today. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Peace.